What's up, guys? This is PowerManiac720, and here for you today I have part 1 of a 6-part video analysis I'm going to be doing on the 6 pseudo-legendary Pokemon. For those of you who don't know, the 6 pseudo-legendary Pokemon are there are 7 pseudo-legendary Pokemon, but I'm only going to be doing analysis on 6 of them, and they're the Pokemon at the end of each dex, usually at the end of each dex, right before the legendaries, whose base stats add up to 600. So the 7 pseudo-legendary Pokemon are Dragonite, Tyranitar, Salamence, Metagross, Garchomp, Hydreigon, and Goodra. However, since Metagross is not VGC legal, I will not be doing Metagross for this analysis. So part 1, I'm just going to go in order of the regions, is the Gen 1 pseudo-legendary, which is Dragonite. Dragonite is my all-time favorite Pokemon, has been since I was little, and as you can see why. It's such a goofy looking, amazing dragon, and I've used it tons of different ways, so hopefully you find this informative. So right off the bat, we're going to look at its base stats. Base 91 HP, 134 attack, 95 defense, 100 special attack, 100 special defense, 80 speed, which of course adds up to 600. As you can see, it's a pretty balanced Pokemon. That attack stat really stands out. It's really high. That's higher than Garchomp. I think it's about the same as Mamoswine. Those defenses are really good too, 91, 95, 100, relatively bulky Pokemon. And then you have that 100 special attack, which of course is usable. I mean, there's plenty of other Pokemon people use in the metagame who have around that special attack. People use Special Nidoking, and Nidoking's only base 85. And then the 80 speed can be troubling because you're kind of in between Trick Room and kind of that hyper-offensive high speed tier. So most people, when they see the base 80, will either opt for a Choice Scarf or just make the Pokemon really bulky, which we'll get into later. So some facts about Dragonite. It is a Dragon Flying type, has the ability Inner Focus and the hidden ability Multi-Scale. For those who don't know, Inner Focus prevents flinching, and Multi-Scale, it allows for the first attack when Dragonite has full health does 50% damage. A common misconception is that the attack hitting Dragonite has to be a super effective attack, but it's any attack, which is really useful. Let's look at some of its resistances. It 4-time resists Grass. It 2-time resists Bug, Water, Fire, and Fighting. Its neutral hits are Electric, Steel, Normal, Flying, Psychic, Ghost, and Dark. It's 2 times weak to Dragon, Fairy, and Rock, and it's 4 times weak to Ice, and being a flying type, it's immune to Ground. So Dragonite has a ton of uses, and I'm going to get into more depth of each of them as we go, but here's just kind of the list of what I'm going to talk about. We have a Physical Dragonite, Special Dragonite, Trick Room Dragonite, Rain Abuser Dragonite, Mixed Dragonite, Dragon Dance Dragonite, Agility Dragonite, Support Dragonite, Scarf Dragonite, Specs Dragonite, and Banded Dragonite. So as you can see, a ton of options for Dragonite. Some of them may seem more obvious than others, and I'll briefly go over each of them. So we'll just go right in order, start with Physical. Dragonite has access to a lot of moves, and many of them are physical. And of course it has that whopping base 134 attack stat, so it can really hurt many things. As you guys see, Garchomp with a Jolly nature really leaves dents in teams, so Dragonite typically going to run an Adamant nature on it, so it can really just destroy Pokemon if left alone. It also has access to one of the best priority moves in the game, Extreme Speed. For those who don't know, Extreme Speed is a physical priority move with 80 base power, and it actually has +2 priority, so it goes before Sucker Punch, before Ice Shard, before Brave Bird, which is incredibly useful. And of course it's got 80 base power, so it's pretty strong. So some notable physical moves that Dragonite gets in VGC 14 are Dragon Claw, Extreme Speed, Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, Aqua Tail, Waterfall, Steel Wing, Rock Slide, Earthquake, Rock Tomb, Power Up Punch, Brick Break, and Sky Drop. I just realized I spelled Brick Break wrong. I wrote Break Break, but it gets Brick Break, not Break Break. So some of those moves kind of stand out. Dragon Claw, of course, powerful stab. Extreme Speed, great priority. Thunder Punch and Fire Punch is nice because most Pokemon need Move Tutor for that, but Dragonite only needs Tutor for Ice Punch. It does not need a Move Tutor for Thunder Punch or Fire Punch. Aqua Tail and Waterfall, nice coverage. Steel Wing can hit fairies pretty hard. It also gets Iron Tail, which I actually tested for a little bit, and Iron Tail 1-hit KOs a lot of those troublesome fairies. Of course, the issue being that It's only got 75 accuracy. Rock Slide and Earthquake, great spread moves. Rock Tomb, good for speed control. Power Punch, just to make Dragonite hit harder. Brick Break to hit things like Tyranitar, Bisharp, Kangaskhan, and Sky Drop is actually a good stab move and a good support move. So next we have a special Dragonite. So not only does Dragonite have access to a bevy of physical moves, it also has access to some of the game's most powerful special moves. So as I mentioned before, Dragonite's special attack is 100, which isn't amazing, but it still can certainly hurt people. Some notable special moves that it gets are Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Hurricane, Surf, Focus Blast, Fire Blast, Thunder, Blizzard, Hyper Beam, and Round. I know you're thinking Round is kind of a weird one to throw on there, but I mean, some people do like running a Round team, so I figured I'd throw it on there. Of course, the powerful moves I was talking about is all those elemental ones: Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Thunder, Blizzard. Those are huge moves to have. They're amazing. Also, it gets access to Hurricane, which is a flying moves. As a flying Pokemon, it's its best special stab. Hits with the stab, it's going to be base 165, which can really hit those things like those fighting Pokemon or Mega Venusaur, things along that line. So next we have a little more unorthodox Dragonite, a Trick Room Dragonite, which I personally like running. Even though Dragonite has a base 80 speed, which may seem kind of fast for a Trick Room, VGC 14 is a very hyper-offensive, very fast metagame. So base 80 actually is usually pretty good. People setting up Tailwind, or people using these fast Pokemon like Aerodactyl and Garchomp and Salamence that are Scarf. So if you base 80 in this metagame works really well in Trick Room, and I can attest that it really does. Especially I run a quiet Dragonite with 0 speed Ivy, which makes it very slow in Trick Room. So that's another way you can use Dragonite, and you can use it Brave or Quiet. I just opted for Quiet because of a different reason. I was using it in Rain in Trick Room. So speaking of Rain, we have Dragonite as a Rain Abuser, and in my opinion, Dragonite is one of the best, if not the best, Rain Abuser in the game, because it has so many great moves that you get some sort of help in the rain, and they include Thunder, Hurricane, Surf, Water Pulse, Aqua Tail, Aqua Jet, and Waterfall. So Thunder doesn't miss in the rain, Hurricane doesn't miss in the rain, also Hurricane is Stab, and it has a chance to confuse the opponent. Surf, Water Pulse, Aqua Tail, Aqua Jet, Waterfall, all water moves that are really nice in the rain. When I run my special Dragonite in the rain, I usually run Thunder, Hurricane, Dragon Pulse, and then either a water move or Protect, depending on what item I'm running. I've actually tested Assault Vest and went with Surf in the rain or Aqua Jet. But if you're not running Assault Vest, then I suggest sticking with Protect. So next we have a Mixed Dragonite. Mixed Dragonite seems kind of redundant because obviously if you can have a special Dragonite and a physical Dragonite successfully, then you can have a Mixed Dragonite. I want to run 2 different Mixed Dragonites. I have one with Draco Meteor, Extreme Speed, and Fire Punch. The other one has Dragon Claw, Extreme Speed, and Flamethrower. I like the Draco Meteor one because I get hit one hard Draco Meteor and then I can start using physical moves and not worry about that special attack drop. But especially when it holds a weakness policy, Mixed Dragonite becomes very dangerous. So next we have Dragon Dance Dragonite. So Dragon Dance Dragonite basically works just like Mega Charizard X or Mega Tyranitar. You basically have something out there to help it, maybe a Fake Out user or a Follow Me user or a Rage Powder user, and have them use their move to draw attention to them while Dragonite sets up its Dragon Dance, and all of a sudden, you got a Dragonite +1, which is incredibly dangerous. And plus with that speed, usually if you invest 148 neutral nature, you outspeed all the base 110s and lower, which is really nice. And you can run a Lumberry on it to get rid of those burns, those thunder waves that people use to kind of negate Dragon Dance. So next we have Agility Dragonite, something a lot of people don't use, but I've tested extensively in game as well. Usually works better in singles, but it works well in doubles as well. Same idea, you kind of want to find an opportunity to use it. It's not something you go out and use every time. I don't know why I wrote priority move. Agility is not priority. That should say status move that doubles your speed. My bad. You only need to invest, I believe, 20 speed EVs with a neutral nature, and you outspeed pretty much the entire metagame except maybe Mega Aerodactyl. And that's huge for Dragonite. And then if you give it weakness policy, of course, you get the super effective move. Now you're at +2 attack, +2 special attack, +2 speed. and it's just really incredibly dangerous. Plus, already has really nice natural bulk, so it's gonna stay around for a while. And then, of course, you can choice your Dragonite. I think a more popular choice item for it would be Specs or Scarf. I don't see too many bans, but I think Scarf's kind of the way to go. You can use Scarf in one way you can use a Scarf, not only two different ways, but two ways you can use it is for fast rock slides and go for the flinch hacks, or you could actually go with a fast Skydrop support. Skydrop's really nice on Dragonite because A, Skydrop's a good move in general, and B, Dragonite gets stabbed for Skydrop. Specs and Band is pretty self-explanatory. It just boosts your special Dragonite, your physical Dragonite. Specs Draco Meteor is pretty good. It hits harder than a timid Specs Draco Meteor or a timid Scarf Draco Meteor from a Salamence, which a lot of people run. So if you run a modest Specs Draco Meteor on Dragonite, you're going to hit pretty hard, KO things like Hydreigon, Garchomp, Salamence, some of those big dragons. So next we have a Dragonite as a supporter, which a lot of people don't ever realize, but Dragonite actually has access to a lot of great support moves. And like I mentioned a few times, its defenses are 91, 95, and 100, which are really good defenses, really good natural bulk. Not anything fantastic, but for a Pokemon who hits so hard, that's pretty good. Also, it's got multi-scale, which, as I mentioned, does half damage when it has full HP. And if you couple that with Leftovers and Roost, Dragonite can be very hard to get rid of. So some of Dragonite's notable support moves are Safeguard, Roost, Skydrop, Thunder Wave, Rain Dance, Sunny Day, Hail, Sandstorm, Light Screen, Confide, Dragon Tail, Bulldoze, Leer, Fling, Haze, and Mist. So Safeguard, of course, blocks blocks status moves like Paralysis, Sleep, Burn, Poison, any of that annoying stuff that can kind of chip away at you. Roost, of course, heals it back, so it can maybe reset the multi-scale. Skydrop, as I mentioned before, immobilize the Pokemon for a turn, so that can be nice. Thunder Wave for speed control. It can induce all 4 types of weather, which is really nice. If you lead with a Dragonite and a Garchomp, and all of a sudden you bring out a Sandstorm and Mega Evolve the Garchomp, I don't think many people are going to be seeing that coming. Light Screen is really nice, just to kind of help out your Pokemon that may not be as specially bulky. Confide, of course, lowers special attack, a move that you don't see very often. Dragon Tail to force switches if you need it. Bulldoze to lower speed. Leer is a spread move that lowers defense. You can hold a King's Rock and fling it for an unexpected flinch. And then Haze and Mist are 2 good moves. Haze eliminates all stat changes, and Mist prevents stat changes for 5 turns on Mist. So finally, we have item choices on Dragonite. Dragonite does have many choices for items, like any Pokemon. It can use many different things, but my personal favorite is Weakness Policy. Weakness Policy is a move that when Dragonite's hit by a super effective attack, its attack and special attack are raised by 2 stages. And this is really useful because most special or super effective attacks on Dragonite just become the same as neutral attacks because multi-scale cuts them in half. So super effective attacks do times 2 damage, but multi-scale makes it 50%, so 50% times 2 is just 1, so it's just neutral damage. It's really nice when I switch into like a Rock Slide that I know is not going to do a lot of damage from like a Garchomp, and then I get the +2 and I can start spamming extreme speeds or hit something with a Dragon Claw. You could also go with a Lumberry, a Citrus Berry, Leftovers, or as I mentioned before, the choice items. Lumberry's nice because of Paralysis and Burn. Citrus Berry, of course, just is a nice item overall on a bulky Pokemon. Leftovers is good for the support set because it might help keep it around longer, and it gives you a better chance along with Roost to reset the multi-scale. And that is it. So hopefully you enjoyed this analysis on Dragonite. If you have questions on any of my Dragonites or any of my spreads, I have a lot of spreads for Choice Dragonite, Agility Dragonite. Most of them are usually 252, but I do have a few optimized spreads. So if you want more on that, you can tweet at me or message me at Nugget Bridge. If you want this PowerPoint, also just contact me and I'll email it to you or something. So until next time, this is PowerManiac720, and just make sure you leave any comments if I could do anything better for the Tyranitar video, which hopefully will be up in the next couple days. Thank you, and good night.